Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. India becoming fifth largest economy, effective COVID management and massive infrastructure development form parts of social and economic resolution adopted at BJP National Executive Meeting. Two terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Budgam town of Jammu and Kashmir. British Home Secretary Suella Braverman approves extradition of defence middleman Sanjay Bhandari to India. India-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline to start supplying diesel to Bangladesh on experimental basis from June this year. India Open Badminton Tournament 2023 begins in New Delhi. And Korea to take on Japan and Germany to clash with Belgium at the FI8 Hockey Men's World Cup in Bhubaneswar this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the concluding session of the BJP National Executive Meeting today. The two-day National Executive Meeting began at the NDMC Convention Centre, New Delhi yesterday. The National Executive of the party adopted the social and economic resolution on the second day of its meeting today. India becoming the fifth largest economy in the world, work done for inclusive development, effective COVID management and massive infrastructure development, among others, form part of the social and economic resolution. Briefing media, Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan informed that discussion was held on how direct benefit transfers worth 22.6 lakh crore rupees were given to beneficiaries in the last 8 years, and India has become self-reliant due to its economic policy. He said during the COVID pandemic, it was ensured that nobody remained hungry.
इसके बारे में हमने दायित्व लिया, मोदी जी ने योजना बनाई, चिंता की। आज खाद्य सुरक्षा योजना के उपरांत 5 किलो चावल और 1 किलो दाल देश की जनता को 80% जनता को दिया गया। पर आज तो संपूर्ण मुफ्त में खाद्य सुरक्षा व्यवस्था जो कुछ मूल्य होता था उसको शून्य करके बिना मूल्य की व्यवस्था कर दी गई है। आज विश्व की सकल जीडीपी के घरेलू उत्पादन में भारत 2014 में जब 2.6% कंट्रीब्यूशन कर रहा था, वो आज बढ़ के 3.5% तक पहुंची है। इससे बढ़िया संजोग आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव की अवसर पे कुछ नहीं हो सकता है।
The minister said the resolution talked about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's assurance that his government would work with the spirits of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas, and it has been proved very excellently. He added that the society has been empowered due to Mr. Modi's clarity of thought and successful implementation of efficient policies even in difficult circumstances. The resolution also mentioned how Bharat Mala, Sagar Mala dedicated freight corridor, Udan scheme and Bharat broadband network have upped the development and growth in the infrastructure capacities of the 21st century India.
आज सरकार की एक प्राथमिक नीति बन चुकी है अर्थनीति के। भारत माला, सागर माला, डेडिकेटेड फ्रेट कॉरिडोर, उड़ान, भारत ब्रॉडबैंड नेटवर्क, ये सब के कारण देश की 21st सेंचुरी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रास्ते थे, बंदरगाह था, विमान अड्डा था, लेकिन आज हवाई चप्पल वाला भी हवाई जहाज में बैठे। भारत के अंदर इनलैंड वाटर को बढ़ाते हुए क्रूज टूरिज्म डेवलप हो, ये सिर्फ किताबी बातें अभी नहीं रहा है। ये सब देश के अंदर जिला केंद्र कमिश्नरेट हेडक्वार्टर में ये उसका अनुभव देश की मध्य वर्गीय नागरिक, सामान्य नागरिक लेना शुरू कर दिया है।
Mr. Pradhan highlighted that vocal for local, one district, one product have now become the basic principles and policies of the government. He added that the Narendra Modi government has been very much concerned about farmers and implemented various policies to ensure that they get appropriate prices for their produce. Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan has said that the National Cadet Corps NCC contribution in inculcating discipline and leadership amongst the youth of this country is exemplary. General Chauhan visited NCC Republic Day camp at Karyappa Parade Ground in New Delhi today. Highlighting the contributions of the NCC cadets in nation building and generating social awareness amongst the people, the CDS said Puneet Sagar Abhiyan was launched with the aim to clean up the country's seashores and beaches by removing and recycling the plastic wastes. He said over 13 lakh NCC cadets have participated in it so far and collected almost 208 tons of plastic waste, out of which 167 tons have been sent for recycling. General Chauhan also applauded the cadets for displaying exceptional performance in various sporting events.
The National Cadet Corps, with its astute focus on character building, has played an inspirational role in imparting quality training towards preparing the cadets to become responsible citizens and to excel in all walks of life. It's a matter of great pride that many NCC cadets have chosen the armed forces as a career of choice. I'm sure the stories of courage and patriotism will further inspire you all to join the armed forces, which undoubtedly is one of the finest and most respected professions in our country. I would urge you to strive for excellence by following the harder right than the easier wrong.
Over 1,200 performers will take part in the first ever military, tattoo and tribal dance festival as a part of the Republic Day celebrations in the national capital. To mark the 126th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, the performances will be showcased under the Adi Shaurya Parv Parakram Ka banner on the 23rd and 24th of this month at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. The event aims at throwing light on the contribution of Subhash Chandra Bose to the nation's freedom struggle. Many traditional dance performances will be presented during the main event, including Gaur Maria, Gaddi Nati, Siddhi Dhamal, Bega, Pardhoni, Purulia and Bagurumba. The Indian Army will also present its prowess through acts like paramotor gliding, hot air balloon, horse show, khukuri dance, Gatka, Malkam and martial arts. 2 terrorists were killed today morning in an encounter in Budgam district of Jammu and Kashmir. Police said the terrorists fired upon the security forces when a joint area domination party of the Indian Army and J&K police tried to stop a suspected vehicle near Court Complex in Budgam. In retaliatory firing, the 2 terrorists were neutralized. A senior police officer said both the terrorists had escaped from a cordon and search operation last week in nearby Magam area. An AK rifle and a pistol were recovered from the slain ultras. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. The first meeting of the G20 Council Working Group on Infrastructure in Pune will conclude today. Representatives from various countries are brainstorming on urban infrastructure. Delegates also discussed financing cities of tomorrow, inclusive, resilient and sustainable. A special heritage walk has been organized tomorrow. The first G20 Health Working Group meeting will be held from tomorrow at Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. India will look to build consensus on the TRIPS waiver proposal on technologies to fight the COVID pandemic. Earlier this month, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal called for redoubling efforts for extension of TRIPS waiver to COVID-19 diagnostics and therapeutics at the Voice of Global South Summit. Mr. Goyal said that India, South Africa and other developing countries worked together at the WTO Ministerial Conference held in Geneva in June 2022 to obtain the TRIPS waiver decision, providing equitable and affordable access to vaccines. Mr. Goyal also called for building new partnerships in the Global South to build resilient supply chains, increase trade and promote tourism. British Home Secretary Suella Braverman has approved the extradition of defence middleman Sanjay Bhandari to India. London-based businessman Bhandari is accused in money laundering and tax evasion case by CBI and ED. He has been on bail on security provided to the court. The Home Secretary signed the order on the 12th of this month, 2 months after court in London ordered fugitive arms dealers' extradition to India. Bhandari has 14 days to appeal against the 2 extradition orders by the court and the Home Secretary. Bhandari has been under investigation since 2019 on charges of corruption in the 2,095 crore rupees deal in 2009 to procure 75 PC-7 trainer aircraft from Swiss plane maker Pilatus Aircraft. World's longest river cruise MV Ganga Vilas is in Patna en route to Dibrugarh via Bangladesh. 32 tourists from Switzerland are reveling in the beautiful moments of the journey. Tourists are overwhelmed with the hospitality of the people of Bihar.
My experience, I without words, because I never had in my life such welcome, and India is incredible.
India is so an emotional land, and I feel so good here, and it touches my heart every day.
Tourists today visited Takht Shri Harmandir Ji in Patna Sahib. It is birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, who is the 10th and the last Guru of the Sikhs. Tourists became emotional after visiting of Takht Sri Harmandir Ji.
My second visit to India, but not my last visit. When we finish our cruise, I will go home, but sure I will come back. And I would like to suggest to every tourist to come here and enjoy the beautiful time, the very happy, welcoming and warm people of India. And it's an amazing experience you can get only in here. It's something unique. And I would like to really recommend everybody to come here. My name is Peter and I'm from Switzerland.
The India-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline, IBFPL, will start supplying diesel to Bangladesh on an experimental basis from June this year. Replying to a written question in the National Parliament, Jatiya Sangsad in Dhaka, State Minister for Power Nasrul Hamid said that about 131.5 kilometer long pipeline has been constructed for importing diesel from India. Out of this, 126.5 kilometer pipeline is in Bangladesh and 5 kilometer is in India. He said that the pre-commissioning of diesel imports through this pipeline is underway. Most parts of Rajasthan are reeling under severe cold wave conditions. Minimum temperature in 6 districts has been recorded below the freezing point this morning. More from our correspondent.
The minimum temperature was recorded at -4.5 degrees Celsius in Fatehpur of Sikar district, while -2.7 degrees Celsius in Churu. Apart from this, minimum temperature recorded -2 degree in Mount Abu of Siroi district, -0.7 degrees Celsius in Karauli, while night temperature recorded -0.5 degrees Celsius in Bharatpur and Alwar district. Temperature has recorded below 3 degrees Celsius in some other districts. Due to cold wave, winter vacation in many districts has been extended till tomorrow. At the same time, the timings of schools have been changed in many districts. Crops have been damaged in many districts due to frost. According to the Met Department, the impact of cold wave is expected to continue in the state tomorrow too. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
The India Meteorological Department, IMD, has forecast that cold wave conditions over northwest India is likely to abate from the 19th of January as two fresh western disturbances in quick succession are approaching western Himalayan region. The first western disturbance will affect the region from tomorrow night and another from the 20th of January. The IMD said that under its influence, light to moderate rainfall and snowfall is expected over Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand from 18th to 20th January. Talking to AIR News, North Central Railway CPRO Aegis Upadhyay said that 6 trains have been cancelled.
कोहरे तथा खराब मौसम के कारण उत्तर मध्य रेलवे से ओरिजिनेट होने वाली 6 यात्री सेवाएं निरस्त हैं। इसके अलावा उत्तर मध्य रेलवे ने विशेष तैयारियां करके रखी हैं, जैसे मॉडिफाइड ऑटोमेटिक सिग्नलिंग सिस्टम इम्प्लीमेंट करना। दूसरा, फॉग सेफ डिवाइस प्रत्येक ट्रेन में लोको पायलट के साथ दी जाती है, जिससे सिग्नल की दृश्यता, सिग्नल के बारे में, लोकेशन के बारे में पहले से पता चल जाए। इसके अलावा जितने भी रनिंग स्टाफ है, उनकी फॉगी वेदर, कोहरे के मौसम में जो परिचालन संबंधी सावधानियां बरतनी है, उनकी सबकी काउंसलिंग की जा चुकी है, जिससे कि कोहरे के मौसम में किसी प्रकार के परिचालन संबंधी सेफ संरक्षण संबंधी समस्याएं न आए। इसके अतिरिक्त ट्रैक पर नाइट पेट्रोलिंग और ज्यादा सुचारू रूप से की जा रही है तथा जीपीएस की मदद से इसे और इफेक्टिव बनाया जा रहा है।
In the FIH Hockey Men's World Cup being played in Odisha, Korea will take on Japan, while Germany will clash with Belgium at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar today. India Open Badminton Tournament began in New Delhi today. The men's singles, Lakshya Sen and Aegis Pranoy will lock horns in the first round this afternoon. In the women's singles, PV Sindhu will take on Suparnida Ketathon of Thailand and Sania Nehwal will be up against Mia Blichfeld of Denmark. In the men's doubles, Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy will play the first round match today. In the women's doubles, Indian pair of Sikki Reddy and Shruti Mishra lost to German duo of Linda Effler and Isabel Lohau in the round of 32. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India becoming 5th largest economy, effective COVID management and massive infrastructure development form parts of social and economic resolution adopted at the BJP National Executive Meeting. 2 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Budgam town of Jammu and Kashmir. British Home Secretary Suella Braverman approves extradition of defence middleman Sanjay Bhandari to India. India-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline to start supplying diesel to Bangladesh on experimental basis from June this year. India Open Badminton Tournament 2023 begins in New Delhi. And Korea to take on Japan and Germany to clash with Belgium at the FIH Hockey Men's World Cup in Bhubaneswar this evening. And with that we end the Midday News.